Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting a like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now today's first story comes from RunHard9797 from the relationships subreddit and says, X42 female is creating so much drama in my 37 male life that I am having trouble coping, considering giving up my kids just to get it all to stop. I don't know where to begin. I was married for 13 years, have 2 small children, 4 and 6, and after being divorced I am now remarried to a wonderful woman, Donna. My ex will not stop harassing me. I have to communicate with her for the kids. It is so contentious that the court finally ordered all communication go through an online site. I had to change my phone number and move. It was that bad. I had my kids this weekend. Things went great and I went and saw my family. No incidents. We had a great time. Then I got this email. Jill and Marvin report that they were in a traffic accident with you this weekend in the truck. They both reported that the loud, obscene exchange between their father and the ABC towing driver scared them. They both reported that they were bitten by Greg's dog, Murphy, during their visit at your folks' house this weekend. This is the second dog they have both reported biting them. Have also posted their reports that they have been bitten by a large dog named Betsy at your in-laws' house. They have traumatic memories of metal being scraped out of your leg. I hope that you recover. Get back to your job quickly. Hope that Donna is okay. They report that you have trouble walking. This is consistent with behavior I observed at drop-off on Sunday night. You didn't get out of your new car, and it appeared very awkward for you to unbuckle their booster seats from the driver's seat. I need to know about these things, please. Dog bites are notoriously dirty and prone to infections. Just because our children didn't appear to be seriously injured as you were in the truck accident, doesn't mean that they couldn't be stiff and sore and possibly have internal injuries for which I need to be observing. At least I need to understand why they were stiff and sore and acted more fearful than usual when they came home. Their mild to moderate bruising and scrapes and the chunks of skin missing from their hands and fingers are consistent with their reports of the accident and the dog bites. I will take Jill and Marvin to the pediatrician walk-in clinic to rule out any unseen injuries and infections. It'd be nice if you would call or email the doctor's office and tell them what you can about the accident and the dog bites. It could help rule out tests and treatments that might not be necessary. It would also be nice if you would pay your half of their medical expenses, especially because the accident and the dog bites happened when they were with you. Today is Jill's first day at school. I could have taken them to the doctor 2 days ago. If you had shared that they were bitten and in a traffic accident that was bad enough required a tow truck for the truck and medical care for you. If you want to drive the kids to Santa Barbara and back in a weekend, expose them to animals that aren't safe for children, and fight with tow truck drivers in front of them, I cannot prevent that. But what happens to their little growing bodies and the events that are being imprinted on their sweet, innocent minds is very much my business. Please share all of the information regarding what happened to our children in the truck accident. Please share all of the information regarding the bites from the dogs. As a mother, it is very worrisome to hear my preschooler and my first grader recount the dangerous things that are happening to them. But it is even more worrisome that my co-parent withholds vital information about their health. Jill and Marvin deserve to know that their parents are working together to take care of them. Thank you. Opie then continued. I don't even know where to begin. The dog that was there had no teeth, didn't bite them, and couldn't have, even if it wanted to. My in-law's dog is dead. I was never in an accident. There was no tow truck. All of this is false. I can't even find a shred of a real event that could have gotten twisted. This comes on the heels of 4 days ago, her trying to corner me into signing away 30% of my custody agreement and refusing to let me even look at the details of the paperwork. I'm so frazzled by all of this that, at times, I think about signing away my parental rights just to not have the stress. But I don't want my children thinking I don't care for them and abandon them. How do you reason with this level of crazy? Any advice is welcome. I need help managing this. All I can think to say on this is to make up that kind of story, but as always, I don't know anything about the law, etc. But from what I've read in previous stories with a similar kind of vibe is, get a lawyer involved ASAP. Tell her the accusation she's making against you. The way that email was written sounded very much like she's just trying to get the children out of your custody. The level of detail that it went to, trying to prove your negligence to them. But I think working with someone in the legal field who knows about this kind of stuff could pick this apart very quickly. Well, I'd hope so anyway. But Ndave T says, in regard to this, and quotes, it'd be nice if you would call or email the doctor's office and tell them what you can about the accident and the dog bite, and then says, maybe you should do what she says. Email the doctor's office and tell them there was no car accident or dog bite. Another user says, if you're willing to tell random armchair psychologists on Reddit that you're considering signing away your children, chances are good she has picked up on that and is indeed doing whatever she can to make that happen. Get thee to an attorney as soon as humanly possible. Fight for your children. One day they will know what you did or what you didn't do. Throwaway says, turn this over to your lawyer. Please fight this fight. I know it's hard, but can you imagine growing up with a mother who chooses to rewrite history and reality to suit her whims? OP responded saying lawyers have been contacted. No response in 3 days. Emailed with this craziness this morning. Still crickets. The OP came back into the post, get this, 8 years later, and says, I was looking in my profile and saw my post in this subreddit from 7 years ago. My ex was causing so much chaos that I was doubting everything. That post is linked here, and then shares the link. I took everything to heart and implemented several things right away. I became a grey rock and started documenting my ass off. I consulted my lawyers and they said they advised several steps, the first of which was a 7:30 evaluation. This is an evaluation done by a psychologist. That process took a really long time as the 7:30 evaluator got very sick halfway through. That took 10 months. At the end, the report essentially read, Mum is volatile and disorganized, and that Dad's home would be a more stable home for the children. However, there is hope that Mum is starting to improve. So if things are still bad in 1 year, it would be appropriate to change custody to Dad. This was a tough pill to swallow. Things were not better and the chaos was just intermittent. So we just kept documenting and doing our thing. Eventually, we started getting lots of emails from teachers that Jill in particular was often not bathed, never had her homework done, didn't have school supplies, and that she was failing way behind in her studies. We applied for a trial to review custody and asked for primary custody to be swapped to us. That was at the end of 2019, and trial was set for May 2020. So, as you can imagine, once COVID hit, everything got delayed. There was a large amount of events in 2020. COVID shut down, Donna and I had a child, Rebecca, and my ex started denying visitation to Jill and Marvin. Every 2 weeks I would go down, wait in front of the house. No kids would emerge. Sometimes I would have the police come, not to force anything, but to get the documentation in terms of a case number. This went on for 4 months, before I was able to start getting visitation again. Eventually, the trial was set for summer of 2021 and went for 3 days, and I had over 500 pages of documentation. Day 1 was entirely testimony from the co-parenting therapist who had been seeing for 5 years. She testified that my ex was the most difficult client she'd ever worked with in her career, that my ex never followed a single agreement in session, and that she was a pathological liar. Last day of the testimony was my ex, where she was caught lying on the stand and was presented with evidence that she'd been secretly taking the children to a medical professional for 2 years that had explicitly not agreed to. So starting in August 2021, the judge ordered the kids come live with me, primary custody, and limited my ex to 4 days a month. It's now been 3 years, when Jill was in 5th grade and she had a 26% in math and a 40% in English. For the last 3 years, she has maintained a 4.0 every single year and will be starting high school in Honours Geometry, Honours English, and AP Biology. Marvin has also been doing well also and just finished his first year of middle school with a 4.0 GPA and is loving his coding and robotics elective. They have new clothes and have learnt new skills and responsibilities. Donna has been crucial in setting up patterns to help with success in school. Their rooms are both immaculate and they are the ones doing it with very little direction from us. They are happy and finally involved in activities and sports. Our little Rebecca adores them both. I will often find all three of them cuddled up together as one of the older two reads a book to her. Jill made the decision recently to stop going on visits to her mum. The chaos and drama started being directed at her, along with lack of food, clothes that fit, etc. Marvin is still going for visits, and we're encouraging that as long as he is feeling safe there. All in all, things are going well, and the kids are doing incredible. There are hard moments still, but it has all been worth it, and we're able to shield them from the most part of any chaos their mum may want to start. If anyone is reading this that initially sent advice, thank you. When you're in the thick of it, it is tough to not feel like it's impossible, and you will never be able to overcome it. I needed the outside perspective. And Garen Queen on the back of that one says, this is a wonderful update. I'm sorry that it took so long to get everything resolved, and I'm sure it was heartbreaking knowing your children were in the custody of someone who was not taking care of them while you had to wait for the wheels of justice to slowly move. I'm so glad you persevered and did not give up. Professor says, from a teacher, it's so amazing to see what stability can do for children. Thank you for fighting hard for your kids. You've given them such a great foundation for their futures. There's parts of that story that had me absolute tearing up. You know, the vision of which OP painted when he was stood outside the house waiting for his children to come out, and you know, this went out for 4 months and then them not coming out, knowing they're in that house with someone who's unstable, who is treating them like that, and you're having to go through all the legalities to get them out of that situation, which is dragging on for fucking months. I can't imagine how difficult that would be. All I can say is that I'm really glad that things turned out for you and your kids, and that things are going, it sounds like to me, so much better for them, much more stability in their lives, and they're doing better in their school lives as well. But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. So our next story comes from the Best of Redditor updates. It's from Particular Anxious 208, who is the OP, and says, am I the arsehole for skipping my friend's birthday without warning because his girlfriend calls me the typical girl best friend? It starts off with an edit saying, please don't offer legal advice. My lawyer and my father are dealing with it. Also, I'm not in the US. It's always worrying when it starts off saying about my lawyer's dealing with this. Something's going to go down here. Miles and I have known each other since we were 2 because our parents are best friends. Now, I would not say Miles is my best friend. He's a good friend and we do hang out on occasion, but see each other on all major holidays because of our parents. We're in our early 20s. The problem started because of a dumb childhood memory. When we were 8, we had a wedding play on school aftercare. I played the bride and Miles the groom. It was a play with horrible songs and uncoordinated kids. Obviously, our parents made pictures and videos of that, and we have one picture on our family picture walls. Miles is dating Lindy. They met 3 years ago and started dating last year. Lindy does not like me. Every time we coincide at a celebration, she makes a comment about me being the typical girl best friend. She one time said that I secretly wanted to sleep with Miles. I have no clue where she got that impression from. Miles and I have different friend groups and schedules. Besides monthly catch up over food, we didn't really meet that much. Things got worse when Lindy saw the wedding play picture. The comments just got more. She even started DMing me on Instagram saying she knew what game I was playing. I talked to Miles once about this and he told me to give her time. So his birthday was on Saturday and I was invited. Lindy wrote me saying something along the lines that she was going to supervise me. This was their first birthday as a couple and I was not allowed to take up his time. I was honestly just fed up. I tried talking to Miles once more, but he said the same thing. So I just skipped out. When the party started, I wrote a quick sorry I can't come and told him my mother was going to bring his present. Now he's upset with me for missing his birthday. Lindy is mad that I made it all about myself, and my parents are upset I missed a family function. Am I the arsehole? Edit, I didn't show anyone the messages, but I didn't want to make more out of this than it is. I didn't want to poison anyone against Lindy, especially not if she is a new fixture in Miles' life. That would make both our lives more difficult. I hope that just talking about it might be the more adult thing. My parents are not mad at me or blowing up my phone. At Reddit fashion, they and Miles' parents were just bummed out that this was the first birthday that I ever missed. As to why she is jealous, I have no idea. Neither of our parents ever wanted us to get together. There were no jokes or anything about it. I think they also would never want that. The wedding play picture is in the living rooms because they loved the picture and it was our first play. Absolutely not the arsehole in this situation at all. You're not to blame. I think you did the right thing by stepping back out of this after your concerns were dismissed by people. But why would you want to go to a place where, you're going to be supervised and made to feel like shit for being there when you've done nothing wrong? You say you don't want to cause drama, but I'd be like, just have a look at those messages. I'm going to be supervised when I'm at your party. That's why I'm not coming. They need to see the truth rather than you being the scapegoat for Lindy's insecurities here. But Beck says you've known Miles for 20 plus years, and his family is close with your family. Your not being at his party was noticed, and you're taking all the blame for Lindy's actions and insecurities. Screenshot her messages to you and send them to your parents and put it on record your not attending was at Lindy's jealous behest. Not the arsehole, but seriously, if the parents expect your involvement, they need to know the truth of why you weren't there. Rowan says not the arsehole. He can't have his cake and eat it, as in, he can't refuse to do something about the problem, then get mad at you for doing something about the problem. I understand why you didn't want to go, and I'd probably do the same. His girlfriend doesn't seem worth the mental energy, and she's clearly got insecurities that you shouldn't have to deal with. Lisa knows best replies that and says because Miles likes the attention. He likes that his wildly insecure, jealous girlfriend is causing issues. He's hoping OP will fight for him and his attention. Miles is the real problem here. He could have shut down his girlfriend right from the get-go. Twitch Deep Garden reply sent, exactly. I just cut ties with all of them. Lindy is insecure, Miles is a doormat for letting his girlfriend treat OP like this. That's not what friends do, and it's just drama OP doesn't need. Lindy will continue to harass OP regardless. Pop some popcorn and let petty mayonnaise spin. But OP came in with a first update and says, I will update you in the first part and clarify some things later. After my first post, I talked to Miles. At first, he was kinda mad and thought I'd been blowing things out of proportion. Some more details are in my last post. We came to the conclusion of taking more distance while he figures that all out, mainly because I did not want the added stress of petty drama. Then I talked to my parents and explained to them what was going on. They were really upset by how Lindy treated me. Obviously, they weren't going to get involved, but it was nice to get that off my chest. Then, nothing else happened until Tuesday evening. Wednesday was a holiday, so some of my friends took the opportunity to go to an Irish pub to do karaoke. At some point, my best friend and I went to pee and touch up our makeup. Then Lindy and some of her friends walked in and kind of cornered us. It wasn't pretty. They started loudly talking about man-stealing bitches and how some women were just born to be homewreckers. And imagine being pathetic enough to pretend to be a guy's friend to fuck him, and how pick-me's are the worst. They kind of kept edging us physically into the part where the hand dryers were while pretending we were not there, until my best friend had enough and just pushed through them while pulling me behind her. We were almost at our table when Lindy went right behind me and pulled my hair so that I fell backwards onto like a metallic piece where you were supposed to put your feet on. It hurt so bad that I started to see white. And then a girl next to Lindy poured beer on me. I cannot really tell you what happened. There was a scuffle, and someone dropped one of those heavy pint glasses on my head. The Lindys were taken away by police and I was taken to the hospital. My parents were furious, as were Miles' parents. They both came to the hospital and I was severely concussed. My nose was fractured, and the worst thing is that I have a hairline fracture in my back. I stayed in the hospital till yesterday morning. Miles did try calling me a bunch. According to my parents, they told him not to visit me right now. I did get an official notice saying that apparently there was now a legal case open against Lindy and one other girl for not only assault but also public disturbance in the bar. So now I have to deal with all that legally. I finally talked to Miles, and long story short, those of you saying Lindy was isolating him was a sign that an abusive relationship was right. He told me all the things she said to him to make him feel awful. She'd freak out about anything in her life and take that out on him. She would scratch him and bite him when she was mad. Our talk ended up with both of us crying and apologizing. We'll be closer again. At least we can now talk about things more often. He broke up with her and is hiding at my parents' house. So that is it for now. OP goes into their latest update and says, I'll update immediately and go into details later. There's been an official court date set for my process against Lindy. It took 2 months to get and is another 3 months out, but something is something. Our lawyer said that Lindy is probably not going to jail as she is a first-time offender. If she goes to jail, it would be no more than 3 months. Most likely she's going to have to pay a fee of 100 days of her income or something like that. I've let my father deal with this 100% because I have no head for it. There's a second lawsuit going on at the same time as I am legally chronically ill. A hairline fracture was not a passing thing but developed. I am in daily pain. Not every day is bad, but not a day passes where I am not in at least 2 on the pain scale. As a result, I have not been able to work. Right now, my insurance pays 75% of my former income, and my workplace covers the rest. I'm probably going to get fired. So my insurance filed a claim against Lindy to pay my lost wages. I am right now not in contact with Miles. I tried to be supportive, but being disabled by his jealous ex-girlfriend made me bitter against him. He was a victim, but now I can't live my life, and I blame him partly for that. I'm in therapy to work through all that and have taken up some new hobbies. I've started to write more and I'm looking into courses or online classes. Miles' parents have been apologetic and have supported me a lot. His mother has been a saint. She volunteered to drive me anywhere and actually become friends with her. We even went to see Deadpool and Wolverine. I want to see that. She is a stay-at-home wife, so we have a lot of time. One of Lindy's friends reached out through my lawyer, offering a testimony against her own friend. She also sent a letter apologizing. To make it short, Lindy had told them I was bullying her and that Miles had once already cheated on her with me. So that's where we are right now. Take care and shield your back. I do not blame you one bit from taking a step back from Miles. All I can say is I hope Lindy faces some serious consequences for the damage that she's done. She made the choice to attack you and it has created this hairline fracture which causing you daily pain now and likely for the foreseeable future, possibly forever. And there was other people saying that, Lindy basically deserves prison time for this because of the damage she's done. OP did reply and said, yeah, but her side is arguing no accident. Basically that the hair pulling should be the offense and I just stumbled as a result. I don't know. M. Carly replied to OP and said, that's like saying if I punch someone and their head bounces off the curb, I'm not responsible for the injuries that were caused by the curb. None of the following injuries or complications would have occurred if not for the direct actions of the plaintiff. I just forgot the witch's name. She is so responsible for any and all of the injuries that are the result of her assault. If not for her yanking in your hair, you would have not have fallen. Now I'm mad on your behalf and want to hit her. But just to finish this off, I want to say I'm incredibly sorry for what you're going through, OP, and I think all you need to do right now is prioritize yourself in this situation. Let your father deal with the legalities and you just focus on your own mental well-being and your own health around this at the same time. You were innocent from the beginning, yet suffering the most. It's fucking brutal. Much love to you, OP, and I really do wish you all the best. Ah, dearie me. But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, your support, your time always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love to you.